let's get to the breaking news, and that is in terms of Bruno Guimarães and Aaron Ramsdale. So this is what Team News and Tix has had to report today. There are three clubs who believe Newcastle may still have have financial issues. If this is the case, Arsenal may try to sign Bruno in a deal involving Aaron Ramsdale. Now, that would be very, very, very interesting. If we actually, if they actually have trouble with finances and they have to move him on, I'm sure Arsenal will definitely try and sign him as well. I don't think Arsenal will be the only team that would try to sign Bruno Guimarães. You probably will hear Man City want him as well, especially considering we got Rice ahead of them last season and they couldn't get Paqueta because of everything that is going on. I still think Man City are looking for a midfielder there this season. Maybe in January or maybe next season, they're still looking for, an 80, 90 million pound midfielder. So they could try and sign Bruno Guimarães as well. And I don't know which other team, maybe a Liverpool or someone like that, those teams would try to sign Bruno Guimarães. Now, if they really do have to sell him, if they have financial problems, he's one of the players that they could sell to get a good significant money for either him or Alexander Isak. Remember, Alexander Isak is a player that you also want, but there's been talk about Alexander Isak obviously not leaving Newcastle. They've actually confirmed as well, saying even if they have financial problems, Isak is not one of the players they're looking to sell. So you're looking at players like Bruno Guimarães, and maybe a couple of others. I don't think there's any player that is going to get them above 80 million apart from Bruno Guimarães and obviously the player who I don't think is going to leave is Zach Gordon, maybe, but this is the main one. Now, Arsenal are ready to offer them Aaron Ramsdale. Remember, Newcastle wanted Ramsdale before. They were linked to Aaron Ramsdale before. He's a player that they did say they wanted before. I was actually thinking right after the transfer window opened, they would sign him immediately and maybe move on Pope because of the injuries or whatever. But no, that actually didn't happen. I think Newcastle have actually signed another goalkeeper. They want to get rid of Dubravka. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but I've also seen that we also linked to Dubravka, Newcastle second choice goalkeeper. So we could have a swap deal there, but not in terms of Ramsdale and Dubravka. Arsenal, if that happens, Arsenal will be ready to offer Aaron Ramsdale to get Bruno Guimarães in return. Now, that deal would be very good for us because we are going to get rid of a goalkeeper that once first team football is not going to get it at Arsenal. We're going to get rid of a goalkeeper and then get in a midfielder. Personally, I think that would be good business. For me, my main priority at the beginning of the transfer window is to get a midfielder. We are going to get Merino, but I don't really see Merino as a number 6. So for me, over the next this transfer window, the next transfer window next year, we still need a number 6 because Pat is not going to be here by next season and Jorginho is not going to be here by next season. So we will need someone else to be in the number 6. So we'll need to sort out that position. So what does the future for us look in the number 6 area? Bruno Guimarães could be the one. Now, he would cost a lot of money. Obviously, at the beginning of the transfer window, when you're being linked to Bruno Guimarães, they're talking about 100 million or something release clause. That release clause has since expired, but even now, if you try to sign the player, they would still ask you for 70, 80 million. That is still a lot of money. But what if Ramsdale is involved in the deal? What can we do? How much can we offer on top of giving them Aaron Ramsdale? Now, if we go there and tell them 20 million baht plus Ramsdale, they're going to reject it very quickly. They'll probably ask for like 50, 60 million plus Aaron Ramsdale. And that is if they even want Aaron Ramsdale. It depends. If they're really, really forced to move on the player and they have financial problems and need to hit deadlines, then they will need to sell him either way. But the worry is it's not only us that is going to want him. We could offer Ramsdale, yes, that would be a good deal for us if we get a midfielder in return for a goalkeeper, because we already have a lot of goalkeepers. We can get another goalkeeper later on, a backup goalkeeper for Raya. I don't think Newcastle would accept that, especially if let's say we offered them Ramsdale plus 50 million and then Man City come in there and say, okay, 80 million for you. They're going to probably accept the cash because they already have Pope as a goalkeeper. I'm sure I saw them signing another goalkeeper a month ago or something. So they're not really desperate for goalkeepers unless Pope leaves and then, one of the goalkeepers gets injured. That's why they'll be desperate for Ramsdale. Would Ramsdale even start at Newcastle? So you also have to look at the player himself. The player has to want to go as well. Even if Newcastle say, Arsenal, yes, 50 million is fine. We are going to take the 50 million. You're going to give us Ramsdale. That is absolutely fine. Depends. If Ramsdale says, I actually don't want to go to Newcastle, I want fast team football, I want to stay at Arsenal, there's nothing he can do because he still has a contract there. You cannot chase him away. He's already not playing, so he'd be happy to be on the bench. I don't think so. I think he would want to go to a team where he's going to play fast team football. And I don't think it's going to be Newcastle. They still have a couple of good goalkeepers there. Dubravka is still there. Pope is still there. They've signed another goalkeeper. I don't think he's going to get fast team football there unless they offer him good money and he feels like, yep, this is good money. I'm going to go. Newcastle is a great position place for me. I'm going to fight for my position there, and I'm going to get first team football. No problem. That is fine. But this would still be a very tough deal to do. But it's good to know that Arsenal are still, trying to get Bruno Guimarães either way. But I think that one is going to be very difficult because I know Man City are going to come in for him if he becomes available. Man City are definitely going to try to sign him as well. And in terms of that, it would depend on Bruno Guimarães if that is the case in terms of choosing between Arsenal and Man City. Do you want to go and play next to Rodri, or do you think you're going to replace Rodri? Do you want to go to play next to Rice, or do you think you're going to replace Rice? The thing with Rodri and Rice has more years at Arsenal remaining than Rodri has at Man City. He's already been there for a lot of years. Rice has only been at Arsenal for 1 year, so I can only see like 2 years from Rodri at Man City, and maybe 5-6 years for Rice at Arsenal, maybe even more. Who knows, depending on how everything goes in the future. But that's the latest on Aaron Ramsdale and Bruno Guimarães, and also a potential swap deal. Let's see how that one develops. Is that a deal you'd be interested in? Let me know.